So South Africa are in the lead. We never. Some people might not have expected it after a couple of wickets fell, etc. But England thought they were might be on this match. But I think what happened in this match is that Bazball, we showed them how to Bazball. We showed Keshaf and Marcus showed them how to Bazball. No, I'm just joking, but good performance from South Africa all around. I think there's a lot of major performances that we're going to talk about today on the show. We've got a nice panel for you, so we're going to be having a great conversation with you guys about this. I was supposed to send of the show as well, guys. It's a massive comeback here for everybody. I forgot to send the link to him. Just give me 2 seconds. But yeah, so we're going to talk about that today on the show. We're going to talk about many things about this test match, where we stand with everything, and what we think about this particular game, where we think England are standing right now. We put the call link in the live chat. I haven't pinned it yet. I will do that soon for you guys. I was rushing to get the reports up and every single thing before this particular show. So I know that I'm a little bit late as well, guys. So bear with me. But it is a call-in show for you guys as well, so that you can have a conversation with us as a panel. But yeah, let's get into today's show. Don't forget to do all the things that I've asked you to do. Please subscribe to the channel, of course. Please click that notification bells for all future videos. And also don't forget to smash that like button, comment, and share. Very important that you do that too. And yeah, so let's get into this particular the review. I'm looking forward to discussing all of this with you. Also, download the latest issue of Cricket Fanatics magazine. So, guys, let's get into this. I'm looking forward to this. Yeah, it was a good day of Test cricket. I really enjoyed it thoroughly. I must say, I was watching in excitement, and I was really sitting there pretty chuffed about the way South Africa performed in the end. We probably would have been sitting here a lot more upset if we didn't get past that 100 mark, but at least we got the lead over 100. It's psychologically, I think South Africa have the edge in this match. But let's see what the rest of the guys say on this particular channel. A very good evening and welcome to Cricket Fanatics magazine. This is your this is your review show. I'm your host Khalid, and this is going to be the panel tonight. Now I've jumped the gun a little bit. I just wanted to show everybody that everybody who is here, I'm going to remove them from the stream again while I give my intro to everything. So I'm going to give you the quick match summary, guys, so that you guys do know what's going on. This is the match summary for today. Obviously, RABADA on the honours board, 5 for 52 today. They did really well to pull it back. I feel England, they started having a go at South Africa, but KG didn't settle for anything less than perfection. He was excellent today. Marco Jansen was excellent as well to pick up a wicket. There was a lot of good things from today's play from the bowler side. We clearly bowling them out for 165 at Lords. Brilliant performance from South Africa. With the bat, though, we do have some question marks over the bat, particularly that middle order. Maybe playing that extra batter we might look back at it and say, you know what, maybe we could have. But I know a lot of the fans on this show also asked for that. But unfortunately, that didn't take place. But we have our all-rounders in Marco Jansen and Keshav Maharaj, 7 and 8 there, putting on the performance. I've been saying, though, about Marco Jansen, I've been saying that you guys need to watch him. The boy can bat. The boy can bat. Definitely can bat. I've watched him bat for quite some time. He was excellent. I saw him for Durban. He almost took my head off, actually. Talking about that as well. He almost took my head off in the nets. That's when I really saw it. I saw it at Kai Majolovic, but everybody normally looks really good at Kai Majolovic. Normally players look a lot better at Kai Majolovic, generally speaking. They obviously playing against their own age group. But when you're playing against men, it's a different story. And when I saw him in the nets, I know it's just net training, but I saw how hard he hit the ball. And that shocked me, completely shocked me. So that was excellent from that perspective. The guys, let's get the guys on the show. We've got Paul with us. We've got the real McCoy here, the real man, the real hot skipper here, Aaron. And we've got all the way from Lords, we've got Shay.
Wow. My agent was burst there, Khalid. Nice to see you guys. And Paul, Aaron, what's happening?
What's
I wish
up?
I could say the
Lovely
same,
red
Shay.
tie.
How you guys doing?
Good.
It's so,
It was very good.
So good to get everybody back on screen.
It is. It's a very, very good show, isn't it?
Maybe the
that we've
start
got
was-
on our hands tonight.
Yeah, we definitely do. Let me just start with Shay first because you were there. What's your thoughts on what is your thought on the game first and foremost from your perspective?
I thought that Mirage and Janssen are probably put on a match-winning partnership. I think come day 4 we see that. I thought they batted superbly. I thought Marky Janssen, for a reason, he came at 6, as you all know. I think that Carl was in the toilet. I'm not sure what happened there. But anyway, he came at 6, played a really good knock. Obviously, a little bit of pressure there when he came in. Batted. He was very compact in his stance, his setup. Then obviously him, Mirage. Mirage is Mirage, right? Saw a few and then started to hit it. But I also thought the game really drifted away from England. I thought Stokes' fielding was poor, touching that last hour. I'm not sure if you guys saw it, but Anderson, so Jimmy was at point and he was covering the entire field, but basically to tie it
You
offside.
always had to keep chasing.
Yeah, he looked really pissed off. So watch him like clearly. He looked really sorry, Khalid, I can't say that way. He looked
it's
really
fine.
annoyed.
Go for it.
He was really annoyed. So because the guy next to me was like he's bowling next over. So for some reason you had like Lees, Pope, I think Bairstow behind square doing absolutely nothing, and you've got a 40-year-old who's basically bowling from one end, still hitting 80 miles an hour to be fair to the lad, this time of the day. But I can tell you, as someone Zaki Jimmy's age, the last thing we're doing at 6:30 in the evening after 8 hours play is to running up and down a field. I can assure you guys. So honestly, never mind the bowling part. But listen, I thought ERWEE did really well. Obviously, I'm a bit biased being a Dolphins fan. I wanted him and KP to do well, but not too well. But I thought ERWEE got an absolute snorter. There was excellent bowling there. Markram is Markram. It was poor. I think we all saw that. It was a waft outside the off stump. I thought Leach had been brought into the game far earlier. I kept saying that. I don't know why Leach was not in this. Didn't come in a lot earlier. I was confused by that one. Obviously, it wasn't obviously massively offering a lot, but I still felt to change it over a little bit, or maybe bring Root on or something. Obviously, with the left hands to the crease, ERWEE there for obviously the majority of the time. But yeah, I think it's definitely for me to lead 120 lead, I believe now exactly. I thought that stuff could have been bundled for 250 if Stokes was a bit better with his bowling changes and just try something different. I'm not a big fan of the whole enforcer role when you're bowling 81 miles an hour. So obviously Stokes to play that guy used to be brought up years ago, but to see that, I was just a bit disappointed. Just a bit samey. Like I was kept referring back to SA's attack yesterday, and you've got obviously RABADA and Nokia, and it's obviously with Janssen off a completely different dimension. I just feel like we really missed that. I'm not sure. Obviously, Aaron's obviously can tell you as well what his thoughts on the bowling attack. But the reality is, the only variation you're offering is with left arm orthodox. It's very much the same. Everyone between 80 to 83 miles an hour, right arm over. That's pretty much it. So I thought it was a bit of brittleness in that South Africa attack. Sorry, batting going into the innings, but they did really well. Elgar kind of was Elgar's Elgar, isn't he? Just compact, concise. Man of, just he's a minimalist guy, it seems like, off the pitch and on the pitch. But, gritty innings, wasn't it? Very gritty innings, so he did really well. ERWEE, I said, was excellent, so I was really happy for him, actually. Rassi, I saw a comment, actually, drop Rassi. That was a bit harsh, that one. I think it was, who did Potts get out, Aaron? Keegan Peterson, wasn't it? It got KP out.
Yes, KP.
Yeah.
That was a good ball. That was a good ball, actually, to be fair. That was a good ball. He got a good one, actually. He started really well, actually. He clipped, I think, Jimmy. Second ball for 4. 3-minute wicket. KP, I thought he would actually wilted, but I was interested to see, actually, because obviously didn't do so well for Durham, and I thought maybe he wouldn't quit himself that well in English conditions, but he did well. Because I was saying, actually, to the guys around me, like, a lot of these guys have not played in England before. They haven't played, so I thought maybe, actually, a good chance here of getting on the 200, but fair play to SA. It was good. A really, really good day's play, actually. 340 odd runs. I saw 11 wickets. But I think it's the real first test of I hate this phrase about baseball. It's nonsense. You know what I mean? Like, what's going to happen now if a deficit of 150 tomorrow? Are they going to come out swinging? Really?
Yes.
I mean,
they have to. They've got no other option.
Yeah, but I think it's probably but guys, you've got 3 days left in the test match, right? You've got 3 days left. What's wrong with playing like ERWEE? Playing like Elgar did? Proper test match batting.
But they can't. Look at that
No,
batting
they
don't
lineup.
want to.
They can't.
Yeah, I think
30%
I think
can
Holly's
is
right.
no
They
route.
don't want to. They don't want to. I don't think they can't. I think they don't want to. You can't tell me Alex Lees doesn't want to do that. That's Alex Lees' game.
It
We
is.
saw him with the Windies. We saw him with the Windies. How he is. Anyway, yeah, just my little 2 pence there. But yeah, it was good day. It's a good day today. So
Shay, how much
I
did
do
you see of
understand
it?
if you're going to
Because
drop out because I know you're on the way home. So I know you still need to go home. So just let me know when you want to leave, eh? Sure.
yeah, we'll do. Man, I'll stay on for a few minutes. I like to see Paul's and Aaron's and you guys' thoughts. So
Hey.
that'd be cool. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, so Aaron, from your perspective, I just want to ask you a couple of questions, particularly about England. I noticed that Ben Stokes, and I thought this should have been something that they maybe should have capitalized on. To the guys that want to call in on the show, we're gonna first have a conversation here. So you guys probably have to wait around the 30-minute, 20-minute mark till we get all of our views. We all like to talk here, so this is going to be a longer show than usual. Aaron, from your perspective, Ben Stokes, I thought that was something that maybe a trick that South Africa must to put more pressure on Ben because he looked like he has a little bit of a injury or knee problem. He's struggling a bit. If we could put more pressure on him and really take the attack to him, I know it's difficult because he bowled really well, but I think that was maybe a little bit more of a trick. Just push it past him, make him run, do those type of things. Maybe put that into the equation from a strategy perspective. I am a little bit worried about that for him because I want him to be out there as long as possible in the middle ultimately because the more tired you guys get, the less you can play this baseball, I feel. But from your perspective, Adam, where has it gone wrong? Where did it go wrong for England? What did you do well? Yeah, just your summary of the game.
I just know that you're waiting, and I know you're going to be loving this, Khalid. I have absolutely no pleasure in saying this, but South Africa did bat very well, and England bowled incredibly poorly. Very samey, as Shay said, and rightfully so. With that England attack, it was just the same strategy again and again and again. And I was doing some radio comms earlier, and all three of us who are on the stint just noticed this. England constantly had about 4 or 5 slips in the region for Matt Potts, who at the time was not bowling well enough to deserve that kind of field, and South Africa were just exploiting the gap time and time and time again. Easy runs through the covers or off the pads, and I just feel like England lost their heads. Yes, we did get it back slightly with that middle order collapse, but even towards the end, yet again, we can't bowl to the tail. We had this problem against Jasprit Bumrah in India. We've now had it against Maharaj and Jansen. For some reason, as soon as the 6th or the 7th wicket falls, England lose their heads. And that happened yet again today. It's constant short stuff, which isn't working. And yet we constantly seem to adopt this approach, which hasn't worked in the past, which didn't work today. And it has cost us yet again. And going back onto what Shay said about that partnership, it was a 72-run partnership, wasn't it, between Maharaj and Jansen? That's completely flipped the script of this test on its head. Up until that point, South Africa leading by around about 40 runs. If England could have kept it tight, kept it disciplined, kept up the control, maintained that pressure, and got the lead around about the 80-run mark, I think we would be in a very strong position in this test. That isn't the case. We're now 124 runs behind. Jansen's still out there. He's set on 41. Rabada's no slouch with the bats. He can give it a whack, as can Nortje. And all of a sudden, it is very much momentum with South Africa. At the same time, though, I've mentioned this all day long, this is a really good test for Ben Stokes, the captain, and this England side in terms of that baseball philosophy. And I know that Shade doesn't like the term, but I'm going to use it anyway. In terms of this side so far this summer, we have not been under this much pressure. We've had times in test matches where things haven't gone our way. So, for example, the Tom Blundell and Darryl Mitchell partnerships in the New Zealand series. But the impetus, the onus was never really with the opposition. Whereas in this test, I think South Africa have reached the stage where they are the favourites. It is very much the advantage to the Proteas. So this is a massive test of character, and it's a massive test of this side's character. Because if we can chase this down, I'll say chase it down, we're actually setting the target, aren't we? But if we can put on a good display in the second innings, I don't know, put on 300 plus runs and put South Africa under some pressure and win this test, I know that's very outlandish, then baseball is real. If, however, we capitulate and crumble under the pressure, this is yet another test in this series because we're 1-0 down and we've got to win both games in order to win the series. So Yeah, I think we have to give a lot of plaudits to South Africa. I think England could have bowled a hell of a lot better. I think the field placements could have been a lot more savvy. But again, it's day 2. Test match cricket is a funny game, isn't it? All it takes, a collapse tomorrow morning, a decent opening partnership, maybe some runs from Bairstow, Stokes and Roots, and who knows? Bazball is well and truly alive once more.
Okay, so I
Who's
wanted to get
collapsing?
who's
What do you
collapsing?
mean who's collapsing? South Africa's tail.
Guys, the
Bang, bang,
Soweto
bang.
Laura is not going to collapse tomorrow. He's getting in there.
Who is?
There's runs on offer tomorrow.
Who is?
Kagiso. It's Kagiso and Marco's time.
Bro, you
Marco's
don't
the
understand.
spine of this batting performance.
I don't know why KG didn't see it in the Night Watchman.
Did you see the soft hands KG played Jack Leash on way deep in the crease, and he's like, "Here you go, posture route down to the long on boundary." Like, why not? Like, let him. Like, that's what we want, right? No, but I don't think 150 is enough, and the reason why I say this is that if this aggressive nature of playing Test cricket that England are playing, they must live it. And if they live it and they truly live it, it's an easy way. I can see England being 150 for 2 tomorrow, sometime between lunch and tea. And they've erased the deficit. And it's now Stokes and Bairstow putting us to the sword for the rest of the day and the beginning of day 4. And I've always thought this was what Bazball was supposed to be. Just always bat aggressively, bat at a higher strike rate than everybody else, batted a strike rate of 75 and 80 where everyone's batting at 50. And I saw that at the beginning in the first innings. Obviously, we took wickets, but they moved the game along. So for me, Bazball is there's never draws whenever England play, which is fine. And I'm okay with that. But what I wanted from South Africa, which is a little bit disappointing with the batting today, was I wanted them to bat at least 5 innings. I needed them to sit in there. England weren't being too strong with the bowling. They weren't testing us too much. I just was really disappointed in the middle order not being able to try and make the game longer, because what Bazball does is accelerates the game, whereas what you need is to be like Dean and Sardal and just take time out the game and take as much time out the game as possible, so you force them to try and win the game twice. Because for me, that's how you beat England. You force them to play like this twice in a match rather than once. And that's the reason why I feel 150 is not enough, because you kind of feel like their backs are against the wall. If they get very aggressive and they get a couple of good partnerships at the top, we might find ourselves in trouble. But that being said, top order, guys, when was the last time we were so calm with our opening partnership? Like, when they just average 50 and they give you 50 and you're like, here's 50, guys. Like, this is where we start. That was so beautiful. Like, it was so calming to just sit and watch them just go through their emotions, and Sardal and Dean. And I'm like, guys, give Sardal 5 years. I know he's like 33, but let's go to 38 with Sardal, because he was so good. I loved it. Like, yes, he got a great ball, but like, wow, he was so great. I loved how Dean played. He was a little bit unlucky with his batting. Our middle order is our middle order, guys. You know my feelings about that middle order. I'm not gonna say much about it. I just feel sorry for Ryan Rickleton, who on Sunday,
we
do miss Temba, but I thought they'd go for the South African domestic 4-day player of the series, who won it on Sunday.
Me too.
I was like, this is the guy who needs to play. But I wanted to see Markram bat at 4. I didn't have high hopes for him, but everyone was talking about it. All the former players wanted him to bat at 4 because they thought he could accelerate the game, he could push the game, he could change the game, because he has that ability. We saw that in T20 and limited overs cricket. Now we've seen it today. Maybe next innings will be a little bit better. He batted well for the Lions, so maybe he'll give him a chance. I don't know. But Ryan Rickleton, Kai Zondo are sitting there going, guys, this isn't it. But anyway, that's all it is. But I love Marco. I love Keshav. I think Keshav might not get to bowl, but he's surely not taking the thanks for coming award, because he put a stamp on this game, and a 72-run partnership could be a game breaker. And in traditional cricket, it is. but because we're playing in this multiverse of cricket now, with this man literally telling everybody to bat quickly, it might not be. So I'm unsure, but really love that 72. Ben Stokes is new to Test captaincy, and you could see it. Andrew Strauss was talking about it. Like, he's like, I love how simple Ben Stokes is. He's a one-plan man. Literally, he's a one-plan man. He's not covering for other issues. If he wants you to bowl in the channel, he'll give you 4 slips. And they literally sat I think there were like 4 players who never moved from the slip cordon the entire day, and he played with 4 slips the entire day, which is fine. That's okay. But like he needs to grow in his captaincy. He needs to protect himself and be a little bit more defensive, because had he been protecting those boundaries, South Africa wouldn't be where they are right now. You'd be facing a 90-run lead. Maybe even Keshav and Marco would be back in the hut, because you would have forced them to try and be even more aggressive. Some of the bowling plans were weird. I actually thought Matthew Potts bowled well up front, and I wanted to see him in the final hour, but obviously they bowled Stokes and Anderson, and I thought Pottsy could have been the one to get Keshav and thing, because they kept them bowling short to Keshav and Marco, and I'm like, dudes, these guys live on the back foot. So yeah, but look, I was disappointed with England's bowling effort, but guys, the story of the day, let's not forget Kagiso Rabada on that Lord's Honours board, 5 wickets in this innings, bowled like a king yesterday, continued it today. There's nothing more I can say about how great this man is. I'm just sad we don't have enough tests for this guy to actually get to 500 wickets, because he truly does deserve to get there. And like, he's bowling like he never had an injury, and that's how great it was. Like, unbelievable.
I mean, look at the strike rates, guys. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Can I just make a point about that, Khalid?
Yeah.
About those guys on the screen. 4 of them played for Warwickshire County Cricket Club.
Oh God.
Can you, Aaron, since South Africa's not playing a lot of Test cricket, if Kagiso's available, can you guys get him onto your side? Would be lovely for KG to play some for.
I would take him in a heartbeat. Shay's gone. Shay's had to go back to his 2000 science class, which he was teaching. By the look of that.
But look, guys, it was a great day of cricket. I didn't think we'd get Keshav and Marco giving us what they did, but Keshav's improved. His 87 is his high score was in Bangladesh in the last innings he played, and he's proving that he's really good at 7. And I wanted 7 batters in this thing. Now I'm taking a backseat about that, because I thought, because our middle order was inexperienced, I would have loved to go for an extra batter. But look, 150 lead in was 125 or 150? I don't know. It's 125.
124.
125. Yeah. If they can get it to 150, I think South Africa will breathe easy. You just don't want another. The other thing about today, our fielding was a little weird at the start of the game. It was like awkward. Like, Kyle, at the start of the day, he was dropping balls down the leg side that he should have been catching, and then the whole subtle 1-2 hacky sack little drop. And so I don't want that to continue tomorrow if we are going to bowl, because luckily, obviously, the guys were very good in terms of like castling them, but it was it felt like one of those days where we could have been in trouble allowing England back into the game. So hopefully we won't allow them back into the game tomorrow morning and bat for like an hour, but really happy with where we are. Look, if you told Dean Alga at the start of at the toss that you'd give them a 125 run lead against England, he'd probably take it. With them batting in the 3rd innings even. So yeah, we've got so much time in the game. There might be rain around, we don't know, but yeah, really happy with what happened today. Really,
there shouldn't be. There shouldn't be
tomorrow,
which is good news for South African fans. No, over the weekend as well. The forecast is basically cleared now.
Awesome.
Bad for England fans, but if you're South African,
awesome. Hopefully,
great news. Yeah.
What I want to pull on, though, from an England perspective, and a lesson maybe that we can take, I think Ben Stokes and I think Leach, that when they brought the 2 of them on in the middle, it really changed the game completely, I feel. Put pressure back on South Africa, because that bringing in that spin, they almost had to switch their mindset. They were so used to coming out there to play this. And Markram today, for example, looked good against the straight balls, the swing balls. He was leaving well. And then the spin, the one thing that he was strong at recently, he goes and falls to a wicket and like that. So soft, such a soft missile. I was so disappointed.
But Khalid, our 3 and 4 today were very loose.
Yeah, they were
loose. KP was uncharacteristically loose, and Markham, for a guy who used to open, was very. But he was like this against the Lions as well at 4. There was a moment, there was like a couple of overs where I was watching when he was batting with Carl in Canterbury, and he was chasing anything outside the off stump. He was connecting, was middling, and looked great, but it felt, even with KP, like, guys, we know, like, there was no need for you to. It was like kind of like they were told to up the pace or up the strike rate. I don't know, because I was like, this isn't Keegan Peterson. This isn't Keegan. And it's kind of bad because obviously everyone sees Keegan and like, no, he's not a number 3. But we've watched him against India like bat them into a hole. And we also watched him against Bangladesh bat them into a hole. So it was just one of those situations where, is he nervous? Is he not? Same thing with Aiden. I think it was a nerves thing. I don't know. But there's a situation with him where if he's going to be our number 4, yes, we want him to accelerate the game and take the game away from the opposition. But there's another thing where you just have to get your technique right. And that wicket from Leach, he chased one, and you're like, oh, dude, come on. My number 4 can't be chasing things like that. I need you to be compact. I need you to be watchful. But because he's been a great player of spin, and that was the surprising thing. I was like, why are you
that was surprising to me. Yeah, that's what was surprising to me, is that the fact that he's looked very good against spin over the last year or two. Like, it's not just been now. Pakistani was good. I mean, Bangladesh, I hope that he would have played there. And he could have really showed that. Then we could have really been speaking about it. But I mean, from my perspective, when I'm talking about what I want to go back to, the point that I'm trying to make when we're talking about Ben Stokes and what we can learn from that is the fact that Ben Stokes started bowling a hell of a lot of shorter deliveries. They started realizing that maybe they should bowl shorter, and force the batters to play shots. And really cramped him for space, especially the way Sarah Yeva's wicket fell.
That was a good ball, though.
That was such a good delivery. And I'm looking at that, and I'm like, we've got Nokia, we've got Luke can do that. We've got Nokia, we've got KG that can bowl a little bit. That can look at that and get some encouragement from it. Because with
fall into the trap.
with this Baz ball situation, having the likes of Lungi and having the likes of Keshav, I think that was it can work in our favor in that as the wicket obviously deteriorates a little bit more as well. We heard Leach speak after the game saying he had to spin the ball quite hard. That was the key on this particular wicket today. So maybe Keshav has to do that a little bit to try and get that out of it, because I think they will utilize him. Definitely will utilize
100%.
him.
They'd be silly not to.
Yeah, they'll be mad not to. So that's my point. So I just wanted to put that out there for the people that maybe weren't thinking about that. But looking at Lungi only bowling 5 overs, that gives us even more of a reason to want to play 7 batters. Because if your other bowler is only going to bowl 5 overs in a match, it's also.
But guys, we bowled them out for 160.
I know that. I understand
why are we counting overs?
I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining about the fact that we bowled them out for 160. I'm saying that. You mentioned it in the show as well. You would have liked to see 7 batters. Who gets dropped?
Yes, I was dropping cash.
No, I'm not dropping cash.
no, because, like, my thing, it's either cash or Marco. I'm not dropping Lungi. The disrespect Lungi has gotten in South Africa.
I'm not saying that Lungi deserves to be dropped. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that at this moment in time, when we are looking at what Marco offered with the ball, he's bowling way more overs than Lungi has. What is offered with the left arm seam? What is offering with the bat? What is offered with the bat? What is offered? So you're gonna drop your 7? Is that what you're saying?
I was willing to drop Marco and go.
So you're happy with having 6 and 7 that can't.
The only reason why I was gonna go in with a 4th seamer was because I was not sure if Kagiso was going to be able to finish the game. My worry was Kagiso breaking down, and in that case, you add Marco. But if I needed to pick my 3 best seamers, it's KG, it's Lungi, it's Anna. I'm not looking at the bat. Like what Marco's given us with the bat is a bonus. But Aiden, Rassi, and everybody else in the middle order.
There's a stupid rumor going around, or stupid misconception going around all around, that Marco can't bat. That he can't
It's
become
not
a
about
number
Marco
7.
not being able to bat. It's either Marco or Ryan Rickleton. And I needed an extra batter. And I think Ryan would have given me more because Ryan has a higher ceiling as a batter than Marco. I know Marco can bat. My thing was go with your 4 best bowlers. And for me, Lungi's part of my 4 best bowlers because Lungi went for nothing. In those 5 overs, he had an economy rate of 2.4, the best economy out of all of those guys. Marco bowled 8 overs. He took 2 wickets. That's great. Well done. These things happen. Another day, Marco won't take wickets and he'll bowl a greater economy, but Lungi will take wickets. So my thing is this, is like pick your best bowlers. But if Marco's going to give you that 41 runs like that, can he give it to you consistently? If not, pick Ryan and play 7 batters.
Yeah, and then you're gonna have to hope that Lungi's fitness also can last to
No,
bowl
but
more
that's the
overs.
reason why we're going in with
That's
the
the
extra
reason why.
seamer.
Yeah.
But if they're fully fit, play 3 seamers and 1 spinner.
Yes, if they're fully fit.
Yeah.
If they're fully fit, I still believe that Lungi, Andrich, and KJ are best bowlers. I do believe that. I'm not saying that they're not. I'm one of Lungi's biggest fans, by the way. Just to put that out there. I've been defending him for years already. Which I shouldn't need to do. He's proven it over and over again.
No, you don't need to. It's just this 5 overs argument, guys. Just because he bowled 5 overs, the other guy bowled 13, another guy bowled 15. We literally used 45 overs. Like, when was Lungi gonna bowl?
That's a very good point as well. So looking at it from that perspective, I don't like the fact that we need to drop. I like a 7 that can add something with a bat. Me personally, like we're looking for that, and I really would like that.
Look,
and I know batting
there,
7.
hundreds.
I mean, we can talk about. I mean, Rassi's another person we can talk about. Possibly, Aiden is another person that there's a question mark over. One of them, Ryan Rickleton comes into the team for one of them, could possibly happen. But if you're going to bat 7, if you're going to go down to 7, okay, then.
Look, I made a point. I made a point.
I
on
like
Twitter
the fact
going,
that he can left arm seam, the height.
Look,
the steep.
It adds so much.
For me, it adds so much extra layers to it, to the attack.
Look, it adds so much, and I think for me, it's the consistency. When are you, like, is he going to be consistently doing this? And I'm okay with him giving me this, and that's fine. But your weakness is your batting. So how do you want to fix it? Is Marco the fix to always be the guy who's going to give you those Boucher-esque runs? Because that's what you want. Those 30s, those 40s consistently. If that's the case, then yes. If not, then maybe allow Ryan a chance.
But you don't know that until you play him. How else are you going to know if he can offer you that consistently?
That's
my
exactly
point.
what I was about to ask.
Yeah, that's my point. So
cat.
we're not going to know until we see Marco get more opportunities. I believe that he has that in his arsenal. I do strongly believe. I don't think we should judge a book by its cover. I think he can bat a lot better.
He can bat. He's got 5 first-class 50s.
Yeah, but I know. But there's a narrative going around that he's not an all-rounder.
From where though? From where? Like in his previous test, he scored 37. He's 41 out here.
I'm just talking about, this is a Cricket Fanatics magazine, so it's about what fans say, and I have.
But where? I haven't seen this.
Have you not seen this on Twitter?
No.
Because you're too much in your Warwickshire bubble.
No, but Khalid, in their defense, they haven't seen Marco play in first-class cricket.
That's
or,
why
like
I'm
you
saying
said, in
this. That's exactly
the
why I'm
other
saying
thing.
this.
But the other thing is, look at Vian Mulder. We brought Vian Mulder in thinking he could do the job of the all-rounder, even batting at 7 when we know he actually should be batting in the top 6, and he struggled in international cricket. So one of the easier ways is to say to Mark, and I hope maybe this is the change, is you're there as a bowler, your runs at 7 are a bonus because they take so much pressure off of him, and he's batting like a man with no pressure. There were some shots there that he should have actually gotten out to, but he didn't. But I'm happy that he's been consistent and he's batting, and long may it continue. And we'll find ourselves playing those 2 test match series next year with Marco there at 7, which is fine. And and right now I don't think South Africa should ever break that 4-seam attack. But I like the fact that Kesh and Marco, as a 7 and 8, give you runs. And if they can give me 50 runs between the two of them every match, every innings, I'm happy. And so for that, I'm willing to take that sacrifice of the extra batter, knowing that those two are going to give me 50 runs at least a match.
Can I throw a cat in amongst the pigeons, if I may?
Don't you always?
Yeah, that is true. Yeah, 'cause I'm a lateral thinker. Old Trafford is the next test. Let's say you want to go with 2 spinners. Who drops out?
Then in that case, I would. Then in that case, it's Marco. I'll for me personally, because we need some in that case, because you need to have 7, 8 to be 2 spinners then, or 8 and 9, whatever the case may be, however you want to formulate it. But some Old Trafford look from according to what you've told me. According to what you've told me,
Since when was Old Trafford a dust bowl?
It's not a dust bowl, but it is
according to what Aaron has told me.
It's got the
According
most
to what Aaron has
track.
told me, according to what Aaron has told me,
Same
he's told me
team.
in the past that we've had that it's more spinner friendly than the other 2 tracks.
As long as it doesn't rain.
As long as it doesn't.
So then you play Simon.
Always rains in
Simon for
Manchester.
Marco. Guys, those 5 overs, if anybody has a chance, please go watch the opening hour of the Proteas bowling. And tell me the bowler on the opposite end.
No, but I see that on
RABADA.
So you obviously didn't watch out. You didn't watch day 1 of the review show.
No, guys are telling me that McGee is the one getting dropped in the comment section. I did watch.
Yo, he's
I
fired
would
up
say
today.
guys need to go back and watch that hour, because that hour was amazing.
Yeah, and I said a large portion of the reason why wickets fell like that and why KG took his wickets was because of what the work that was done on the other end. And I do agree with that. 100%. I think the way he bowled was excellent. But I'm looking at the whole entire situation, and what someone's gonna get dropped that's not supposed to get dropped. And that's just what's gonna happen. We have a team and a squad at the moment that's quite versatile. I feel that we cover all bases at the moment. We just need to sort out our middle order batters. Just need to get some confidence and get going. And once that happens, it rounds off everything perfectly.
Keep the same team for Old Trafford, but Aiden Markram has to bowl minimum 10 overs less than Keshav in that 4th innings. He has to.
What about Rickleton?
Look, Ryan's not gonna get it, guys. The way we've seen this 11, he's gonna persist with these guys. Dean wants experience, so he's not gonna change anything, and he's gonna persist with these guys. But there's an opportunity for somebody to keep himself in the team.
I just don't get that. I really don't. You got 2 guys averaging under 30, and you got Ryan Rickleton with a first-class average over 50, and in this year's county championship, he's played 4 matches for Northants. He's averaging 77, scored 539 runs. Why do you not put him in?
Ask the selectors, because he should have played yesterday. He should have been in the starting 11 yesterday. We all.
Khalid, can we get the selectors on?
I actually saw Vic on Sunday.
They dodge me. They dodge me.
He didn't tell me anything though.
Yeah, they dodge me. So they know that it's gonna get the
Aaron,
chat's gonna come in hard.
Aaron, Dean wants experience. Dean said he wanted experience. So when he said that, I knew that Ryan wasn't playing.
Yeah, we all knew that when he said that.
He was like, I want an experienced middle order. I was like, oh, dude, no.
We spoke about it when we did our reaction of the press conference video. We spoke about that. When we heard that, we knew already Ryan's not going to play. So it was clear to see, but they're going to have to start to find a way on how to integrate these younger guys and give them opportunities. They're going to have to find a way. We can't be stuck every single year with guys that are in their 30s struggling for form. I'm sick of that now. I would rather want a youngster. I'm sorry, I would rather want a youngster to struggle. They learn more from the experience. If they've got the ability, if they're good enough. Not just any youngster. Don't throw anybody into the mix. Don't just take any youngster out of under 19 and just throw them into 4-day cricket if they haven't played it before. Like I wouldn't suggest that Tristan Stubbs gets thrown into the 4-day mix because he's done nothing, which I saw on Twitter today.
I saw that.
Hold up. But I did ask Robbie P when he was going to bring Tristan in, and I hoped it was last season, but yeah, I think he
played some 4-day cricket, but it's not enough. I mean, obviously we're going to see more of it. We will see more of it naturally.
So Sadal Aviam must make sure he doesn't. So Sadal Aviam must make sure he doesn't lose form. Essentially, like Sadal's not allowed a bare patch.
No, that's not true. What I'm saying, because cricket, you can't say that because cricket is a game of. Poe's talking to me like I don't know cricket, man.
And Poe
No,
isn't
I'm
wrong.
just putting it out there. You said 30 somethings. People who are
No.
over 30 who are me aren't allowed
So
back,
my
aren't allowed to
argument
do
about
sport.
no. So what I'm saying is there's ways of going out and losing your wickets, and there's also there's ways of if you are an experienced batter like Rassie van der Dussen, for example, who came into the system, you have to get going. It's unfortunately you have to. There's a lot of youngsters in our system that are good enough to play at the top level. I feel that could get an opportunity and a long extended run. I will rather see a younger guy that can play for the next 5 to 6 years for us get those opportunities and learn hard now when there are experienced guys in the team. I don't want to be sitting in a situation again when there's 5 or 3 key experienced players that have to retire, and then we're sitting with this conundrum again, with a situation where we can't find the next best batter to come in, and we just try until we land on someone. I don't want that. I want a clear plan. I want to see a plan from everybody. And I'm happy. That's why I was happy that Enoch Nkwe came into the system as the DOC, for example, because he always spoke about vision and the next generation and spoke about that. And I'm hoping that they will implement that and force that within the system, because I think that's what South Africans always need. Our succession plan has been poor. It's always been poor since as long as I can remember. We never really found a way to make things rotate and to rotate those guys and bring the next generations of youngsters into the system. We were always sitting with, because the opening position is so difficult, you naturally want to give it to a more experienced guy that understands his game better. Generally speaking, that is the understanding of it. But I feel that if you can rotate that, if someone can come into the system now and say, I'm the backup to Sarel. If Sarel gets off the ball after goes through a couple of series where he's blank, you know who the next guy is. We're not going back to the domestic to go look. We're not going back to the stats to say, who should we, ini, mini, mani, mo, let's pick him next. No, that shouldn't be the case. And the same thing, like I say, I said the same thing about Peter Malan. I thought that was unfair to drop him because he came in, he performed instantly, maybe went off the box slightly in 1 or 2 games and then gone. So you're either so I want to see a clear plan and direction with the direction that they go with.
How do you marry that with the World Test Championship? Like, we have an opportunity to return to Lords next year and we're at the top of the table. How do you marry giving guys a chance over trying to win games with an 11 that understands Boucher's philosophy and everything else?
Yeah. So at this moment in time, we are too far into the swing of things to be able to make that decision. I said we should have made this decision a year ago when we were crap in the World Test Championship, where we didn't have an opportunity to even win that thing. There was no chance of us to win it last season. That was the perfect season to try to get the next generation into the team.
But we did. We brought Keegan, we brought Kyle into the mix.
All forced.
Yeah, we know they were all forced, but
I don't want to see forced. I don't want to see forced. I want to see.
So you want guys being dropped? You want guys to be told, like, no, you're done, and we're giving someone else a chance?
No, I don't want that. I want to see a starting 11, right? I want the team to have a clear plan. This is a starting 11, but these are the backups. If you fail, for example, Rassie, if you fail, Ryan's in. For example, if Sarel, if you fail, whoever's in.
But why isn't Ryan in right now? That's the big question. Because you've got 2 guys in the middle order who have not performed for like a year.
Name them, Aaron. Name them.
Aidan Markham and Rassie van der Dussen.
Yeah, but it's true, and I agree with you. I can't answer that question for you. I'm sorry.
No, but I understand the whole wider context of the World Test Championship, but you've got 2 guys who aren't performing anyway.
Aaron, my theory is if Timber was in England and fit, Ryan would have played.
Right.
But because Timber's not there, you have a situation where you no longer have your vice captain and your senior batter is Keshav and he's like at 7 or 8. And so you have this middle order of a guy who's only got 1 year in international cricket, another guy who, let's say if Ryan's played, is playing his 3rd test match. You've got Rassie who's off form, if not. You've got Aiden who's off form, but he's played like for 5, 6, 7 years now in the Protea setup. And you've also got Kaya Zondo. So it kind of makes it easier. It makes the selection conversation easier because they look at Ryan and they're like, if I've got Keegan, Ryan, and Rassie, or Keegan, Ryan, and Aiden, it just doesn't feel right. You wouldn't send a team out like that, even though the guy's done well. Like it's his debut. What if he fails? Whereas having a guy like Aiden, who's played for 7 years in the side, he's even captain in limited overs. He's a senior player, a senior member of the side, even though he is off form, playing in a role that everybody wants to see him play in. I think the selectors were killing two birds with one stone to see if this Aiden at 4 could actually work. Because if it does, then that means you can easily move off of Temba in the next coming years or so, because you know that Aiden's the guy next to you. It's just very interesting that Yanaman Malan's in England too, as well, who I thought, if you were looking for a middle order batter, he's the guy who needed to get an opportunity. But it's the same point as Khalid said. Your next guys don't have test matches. They don't have experience. They haven't even sat in the side. It's not like Ryan traveled the world with South Africa like Sadal Avia. So when we brought Sadal in for New Zealand, he kind of knew what the situation was. So he was easy for him to jump in. Whereas for Ryan's only, been in the setup for like a T20 that he didn't even get a game. He played against Bangladesh because guys were in the IPL, but he's never actually had a full year with the side, even carrying drinks. And so it's a little bit harder to say, no, it's the same thing as that guy. Who's that middle order guy who was scoring runs? Harry Brook. Why can't Harry Brook play on your side?
Well, he probably could. He should probably open. He probably should open because we got an opener with 26 tests who's averaging 26.
He should be there, but he's not. Although he scored the most runs in county cricket, I don't know what it was, but that for me, that's the reason why and so it goes to Khalid's point of we haven't actually given these guys an opportunity. It's the same thing. So, like, guys, when Quinton started showing us how great he was, he traveled with the team. Everybody knew Quinton was going to come into the team in some day, but he carried drinks for like a year or two, and then they brought him into the side, and he's never left. We don't have that at this point in time. We don't have those youngsters traveling, and maybe it's a COVID thing, maybe it's a money thing. We don't know. But as Khalid said, you need to know who the next guys are. So, for instance, I always thought Aiden was the backup opener now since Sadal's taken his position. But Khalid, are you telling me that there's another opener that we need to bring in?
That's what I'm thinking. So either they play Ryan as a opener, as a backup opener, or they play him in the middle order, or they play him in the middle order. I wouldn't. That's desperation. No, I'm saying that's desperation. Yes, yeah. He doesn't let me be. So like the desperation. The reason why I said that is because Ryan's been in the setup. That's the only reason I would even contemplate that. It's because he's been in the setup. For us to bring in my point is we don't know. If Sadal tomorrow gets injured, what are we going to do? Who are we going to bring into the setup? We're going to have to go. We're going to have to look at the top run scorers again. There's Eddie Moore, Matthew Brzezinski, Joshua Richards. There's loads of guys. Dominic Hendricks.
That last name.
There's a lot of guys in the system, but they don't even know themselves where they stand with South Africa. They themselves don't know where they stand. So my point is, at least have those conversations with those guys. Have them on standby. Tell them, look here, bro. You are in our vision for the next year or the next season or the next whatever test championship or the next series we're going to play away. You are in our plans for that. You know that you need to be ready when the time comes. Then at least they're mentally preparing themselves. At least they're going to their coach on the like with Zubair Hamza. I'll give you great example because I was behind the scenes with this one. When Zubair Hamza was told already beforehand, was hinted that he was going to be the replacement for Hashim Amla. There was talks from the selectors to Zubair about this. He went to Ashwell early on, already speaking to him about this and preparing for his debut, etc., to get himself prepared. That gives you a time to prepare. You're not just thrown into the mix. Then we will find more success that way because people are actually logically preparing themselves for that. It's not like with Peter was thrown into the mix, like out of the blue, performed and then got dropped. Does that make any sense to you? Matthew Bretsky was traveling around with the team, and he went around with the Proteas, getting to learn, and then all of a sudden, bam, gone. Not even noticed, not even spoken about again. So my point. And Ryan, what about Reina van Tonder? He was part of the team, part of the squad. Then bam, gone. No, nothing to be heard of. So my point is here. We are sitting in a situation where we have maybe 2 real experienced players in this current 11, proper experienced guys that have been playing Test cricket for years, and that's KG, and that is our captain, Dean Elgar.
Dean Elgar.
So my point here is, who are those youngsters when they do come in? Who are they going to learn from? Like my point is, Saro's still trying to find his game in international cricket. He's starting to get the ball rolling now. He's starting to really get the international cricket wise. He's getting the ball rolling. Rassi still looks like he's trying to find himself in Test cricket, to be honest. Aiden Markram is now moved positions, so you can't take his opening stats and then say, okay, because you batted as an opener for this amount of time, now you need to get dropped because you're batting bad at 4. You need to give him extended run at 4. It's a different role in the team. You're batting with different people, building different partnerships. So now you have to give him an extended run instead of you could have given us a specialist number 4 an opportunity that was in the setup. So this is my point. We don't have a plan when it comes to selection, and that's what I don't like.
Do you know what we should do? We should do a depth chart episode where we sit and go through each of the positions and we like list who's first, who's second, who's whatever. And we can always come back to the depth chart and be like, okay, this guy should be in, he's not in. Why?
That's a good idea.
And you know what the problem with that is again, right? If we can sit here and look at the stats, and we can go through the stats and go check the averages, amount of runs scored, all of these type of things. It's like my argument with Kyle Zondo. Zondo's average looks a lot better because of that 200. Other than that, he didn't really do much in the 4-day arena. So my point here is looking at the stats can sometimes deceive you because there are certain knocks, like with Reinhard van Tonder, the narrative about the Bloemfontein flat tracks, all of those type of things. You wouldn't have picked that up from the stats. You look at the stats and you're like, this boy should be playing, he's averaging about 50. So that's my point. We need to we need to look in it.
That's all I remember.
We need to go a lot more in depth with regards to looking at the charts, and then maybe send it to Victor as a cheeky one, but that's a cheeky joke. But
why not? But honestly, why not? We're like, we've done your job for you, Victor. This is the guys you should be selecting.
But I know for a fact, being in the so I was lucky enough to be able to be not in the press box, but in where the media sat with Victor in Pensang, watching the Western Province team play last season. Daniel Smith was batting, Kaplan was batting, all these youngsters were batting, and it was a very good, nice young batting unit. And I was listening to him, just sitting next to him, watching what he was looking at. It wasn't just about the 50 or the 100. It's the way and the approach, the mentality. All of those things are important. The reason why, for example, Carl, I know he's maybe struggling a little bit with his technique at the moment, and it will come right, I feel. He got 100 to his name. Give him a longer chance. He's still young. My point here is Carl's mentality is that he has been a track record for the last couple of for this time when he's played for Western Province, when he's played for the Cobras. There's consistencies in his ability to be able to pull teams out of pressure when he's under pressure. Like I said again, there was a quote he gave me. He says, "I don't feel pressure because when the pressure's on and there's 6 down, 5 down, 4 down, whatever the case may be, people expect me to fail so I can go out and play my natural game." When that happens in the national team, it's a different story. The pressure is always going to be there. Whether you can tell yourself how many times. So he's going to have to learn maybe new techniques mentally to get over that hump, and I believe in him that he will do it. But let me just get your thoughts going forward for about tomorrow, because we need to talk about the next day.
I was about to say,
we need to talk about the
second
next
day
day
review where South Africa have dominated and we've spent 30 minutes moaning about selection.
Exactly, crazy. So Aaron, from your perspective, what do England need to do?
Bowl
and then
better.
Paul, what do South Africa need to do to seal this victory?
Oh, what, you want me to come from an English victory perspective? Well, 3
Either
early
or.
wickets. Yeah, obviously.
If you believe you're going to lose, you believe you're going to lose. Nothing.
Don't believe we're going to lose. Bazball has energized us all. We're now invincible.
It's okay to believe that your team is going to lose. You know,
We're not. Warwickshire are going to win tomorrow, which will age horribly.
I'm used to it now. I've learned it the hard way that you need to. With Man United.
Bazball. I
These
felt
are
the
days
spirit
we've
of
been dreaming
Bazball.
about.
I've felt the spirit of Bazball. We're infallible. I'm just like Ben Stokes, unwavering confidence. So 3 early wickets tomorrow, with England bowling incredibly well. Some of the best spells you'll ever see at the home of cricket. Nice 100-run partnership between Zach Crawley and Alex Lees. I say that in jest. We actually do need a big opening stand between those two. In particular with Crawley, this could well be his last Test series for a very, very long time, given that we have got openers coming through the ranks and putting a lot of pressure on his place. So England need a foundation. We need a platform. South Africa had that. And I know we haven't really spoken a lot about South Africa's batting in tonight's show, but Elgar and ERWEE, I mean, that was a fantastic opening stand, wasn't it? Just absorbing the pressure, applying the runs, accumulating a big opening partnership together, and just almost taking the shine off of that ball and stunting the English bowling attack in their tracks. So when it comes to England tomorrow, Lees and Crawley, we've got to lay a foundation. We can't be 10 for 2 within 10 overs. Otherwise, we are absolutely screwed. After that, if we do have that foundation, then it is Bazball time. You know, Joe Root, Ollie Pope, Johnny Bairstow, Ben Stokes can play the aggressive, fluid, free-flowing cricket. So for England, tomorrow is massive. We have got to get those 3 wickets first, though, and that's a lot easier said than done because Marco Jansen can bat. I'm not going to say he's going to get 3 figures, but I do expect him to get at least 50. So if that is the case, England, again, we're going to have a big deficit. You're against a high-quality seam attack, and you've got an opening pairing which have not got runs together. So it's not looking great for England. But again, we have to adopt that positive mentality. That is part of Brendan McCullum and Ben Stokes' school of thinking. So for that reason, I think England can get the job done. It's going to be incredibly hard, but hey, let's go for it. Why not? We've got nothing to lose.
At the start of the game, I wanted us to back England into a corner, and we have. And it's going to be interesting to see how they apply Brendan McCullum's principles to being 150, 120, 150 behind, which is why I'm hoping that get 25 runs, Marco gets us 50, Kagiso gives us some lusty blows. I'm not combat 2 guys, so we might get some 20s. We just need runs off things, but we're here. We're at this point, and I'm happy with it. I'm worried about the 150, but we've backed them into a corner. Now it's up to England to kind of force the game open, to force themselves back into the game, and they've got the tools to do it. They've shown it all English summer. So the question is, in the 3rd innings, can they do that, knowing that probably by the end of tomorrow, they'll be all out, but they'll have scored 300, 400 runs, and South Africa will have 250 to chase for 2 days. Channel bowling for England is going to be key. If they keep it in that channel, Kagiso and Marco will probably nick off really easily. If they don't and they want to bowl short, we're going to be in for a party. But I'm wishing Marco all the best. I hope he gets that 50. And we just need to keep on bowling really well. I don't like us starting badly. But like we tend to start innings really badly, which is why I loved KG and Lungi's spell at the top yesterday. It was with purpose. It was great. We don't normally open with Lungi, but we went for it. And it was really good. We set the tone. Yeah, it was really great decision. And so that type of captaincy from Dean Algar tomorrow could win us the game. And that's another advantage South Africa have. It's a captaincy. Ben Stokes really is learning on the job. It's wild. And like it's truly wild. And so it's really good to see that maybe we could actually beat them with just brains. And we've done so well so far with the limited things we have from a batting perspective. But yeah, long may it continue. Tomorrow's a crucial day. South Africa needs to bat as long as possible and effectively make sure England are 10 for 2. If England are 10 for 2, they're going to find themselves in a whole lot of trouble. When Empo. But the great thing about today, about what Marco brings to the bowling attack as a 4th seamer for this team is that surprise element. The way he swung the ball into Joe Root, the way he was getting the ball to right-handers is so crucial. And so it's something that you want to see tomorrow. And South Africa mustn't get carried away. You were talking about the short ball. Don't get carried away with the short ball. There's a little ridge there where if you get the ball in and you break it back a little bit, it will rise, but it's not too short. It's slightly fuller than short. So just try and push it there, and you'll find yourself, because that's what Sorrell's ball wasn't too short.
You want the
Yes,
surprise
yeah.
bounce.
It was like it was extra bounce. I was
I
like,
didn't
this
mean
is
go in there
weird.
with bounces. I mean that.
But you know how
that's-
South Africa are, Khalid. We've seen this
Yeah,
team.
yeah,
We've seen
Tomorrow,
them.
15 runs is gonna. Tomorrow we're gonna have. Tomorrow we're gonna have like consecutive fours from Adiknoki over the head of the ball.
Yes. Yes. So you're like, oh, what are you doing?
Okay, let me get to some of the questions quickly in the live chat before we get attacked over here for not answering any questions. Let me just go with some of the bottom ones. I can't get right to the top now. Question for Aaron: if you had to pick one for England, Folkes or Verena, who would it be?
Oh goodness me, I like both. I do like both. In terms of keeping, and people might not like me for this, but Ben Folkes is, I would argue, the best keeper on the planet right now in terms of wicket keeping technique.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yep.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Across all three formats of Test match cricket?
Test cricket.
Okay. Whew.
Because Riddhiman Saha doesn't keep wickets for India anymore. Otherwise, we would have gone with Riddhiman.
Okay.
But when it comes to Folkes' batting does need to improve. I must say, England do need a wicketkeeper batsman, not just a wicketkeeper. And in terms of backup options, because I've seen in the comments, Billings has been discussed, Ben Duckett's been discussed, Ollie Pope's been discussed. Bairstow isn't keeping. I don't think we'll see Johnny Bairstow keep again because of workloads. Someone who could be an outside pick, and I know that these two on screen are going to roll their eyes immediately, but Michael Burgess from Warwickshire has scored 745 runs this year, scored 14 sixes, is striking at 73, and has pulled off some of the most insane catches you will ever see in your life. You could make a 10-minute highlight reel of world-class grabs.
You want to weaken Warwickshire so that your boy can shine for this England team that's going nowhere.
Yes. Strong Warwickshire, strong England. That's all I'm going to say.
Awesome. Okay. Paul, here's a question for you. What will it take? 4 seamers rotating from one, as Kesh will come into play with one being underbowled, or the extra batter on a tired second innings wicket.
Kesh isn't bowling in the second innings.
Really?
This pitch is too fresh. It's too fresh. He'll bowl as a test over, a few test overs. He's not going to bowl. He's not going to. This pitch isn't. Guys, Jack Leach's wicket was. He's getting some turn. He's getting some nip, but I don't think he's going to bowl with the seamers we have. And if they make inroads, he won't bowl. Unless if England are like 150 for one, Kesh will bowl. Outside of that, I don't see Kesh bowling. It's the same argument we had at the Wanderers, where Kesh didn't bowl an over, bowled like 2 overs. They're like, it's. Remember when we went back to Dean and we're like, dude, do you still need a spinner? And he was like, yes, I'd like a spinner. Kesh is a break in case of emergency. There's no emergency right now. It's fine.
Okay, interesting.
If it was a 4th innings, it would have been different. But it's a 3rd innings. It's like I'm completely fine. And it's day 3, guys. Like England's going to be batting on the morning of day 3.
I'm hoping not. Come on, guys. Lugi only bowled 5 hours. He's going to go and hit a nice 30-40 for us as well. The boy, yeah. But I think he's in it for the spin, though.
There is. I just don't think he's going to use it because the fast bowlers were going to have done so well so far.
God, that's confidence. Have you had a team talk from Brendan McCullum, Empo? That's incredible confidence.
South Africa bowled better than the GOAT Jimmy Anderson and his little crew.
His little crew. Stuart Broad and Jimmy, who have more test wickets between them than any of those South African bowlers combined.
Aaron, BBM code at the top here says, what target you want minimum in 4th innings to defend?
With England? Oh, my goodness. Oh, well, this pitch isn't going to deteriorate that much. So for that reason, I do think we need a healthy lead, 270 plus. I would take its competitive.
So that means you guys need to score 500. Or, yeah.
It's Bazball, Empo. Anything's possible. We're not going to get that. We're going to get bowled out for less than 200 now that I've said that. But anything is possible. Johnny Bairstow, loves a century at Lords, as does Joe Root. So yeah, in terms of 270, that would be ideal. You're right, we'd need 400 plus runs. In terms of a realistic target, I think 200, maybe 210, and even then we're going to have to bowl out of our skin to try and defend that.
I think 200 will be tricky for South Africa. It will be very tricky in the fourth innings wicket. But India, and in that India series, I saw some grit from that top order, and Rassie as well. Like Rassie really came through in Cape Town and the Wanderers. So yeah, look, 200 will be tricky, but I think it's doable.
Okay, guys, thanks a lot for tuning in. Look here, we're going to be putting up another article on the site tonight, and then we'll also be putting up the press conference straight as soon as we receive it. We'll also be putting up a press conference piece tomorrow morning for you guys, so that you wake up, you have some content to look at, and then going into the next day. So please stay tuned to all of our platforms. We've got so many places you can follow us. You can download the latest issue of Cricket Fanatics magazine monthly. Link is in the description. You can become a patron to help us grow South African cricket and also promote South African cricket. The link is in the description for that too. But cricketfanaticsmag.com is your place to be for all updates on this match. We have reports, we've got updates from the fans on Twitter. There's an article actually where you can stay up to date with what everybody's saying on Twitter that we put together, where you guys can go to that and just keep it on your phone and be up to date with everything that is happening on the fly as things are happening. So go ahead and go follow that too. And also reaction pieces and features, great features. There's a great feature of Cyril ERWEE that is on the site currently. So please go find that one. It's a really good one by Chris Chuanza. So please go and read that. It's about visualization and how he's helped himself and getting a visualization coach as well to help him. Left field, it's not even a cricket guy. So just to let you guys know that. But thanks a lot, Paul, coming on the show. Thanks a lot, Aaron. Shay as well earlier on. Thanks for the guys that tried to call in but left again as well. I'll get you on the show tomorrow. There's calling shows every single day. So please call in on the show to have your say. But thanks a lot for tuning in, and we'll see you guys again tomorrow with another review show. Take care, everybody, and enjoy the rest of your evening. Peace.